Chaps and chappets, welcome back to the next episode of this Road to Glory, of course. A bit of a strange start. So we literally sold, I think, Lozano in the previous episode, and we're already buying him back. And here's the thing as well, you know, absolutely fantastic. For every single other player that I seem to sell, they go down in value. And then, for some reason, Lozano's gone up by something like 30,000 coins, which means we've lost even more coins, unfortunately. So, if you've already seen the team, we've got the 4-2-2-2 team. I don't know whether I actually put Lozano on the bench ready for this first match, of course, but it's a pretty decent team. You'd expect that sort of team. I mean, we've said it countless times, but at this latter stage, you are going to see some naughty teams. There's no doubt about that, but we get the ball with Musa, who seems to be super OP for me. Like, with a sniper chem style, obviously already pretty quick, and he's just one of those lads that he's already got the stamina, already got half decent shooting, so you just slap the sniper on, give him that extra dribbling as well. So I think he's like in the 70s in terms of dribbling. But to be fair, the 4-2-2-2 system, it was actually working incredibly well. And if you didn't already see the live stream that I did the other day, that was a hell of a time. For some reason, I was actually playing very sort of differently to how I would normally play because it was on stream. I don't know whether it was like because of the adrenaline of the moment, but every single time I was getting the ball, I was just sort of controlling it. But instead of just passing it quickly, I would do like skill moves and stuff, sort of layer up my play with a bit of sort of unpredictability, which the opponent often can't handle. But in this game here, we're 2-1 up and we give away a penalty. How many times have we seen this? Me getting a red card as well. We have to switch. I think we get left back Lukaku in. Wait, hang on, it didn't even show the penalty. I'd assume I either saved the penalty or he missed it. We're now 3-1 up. Unless that was his first goal. Honestly, I'm so confused. But we won the game. We got the W. I'm so confused about how that sort of happened in the end. My. So, 2 wins on the bounce. It's looking good. The tactics are working well as well, because if you didn't already watch the previous episode, basically, it's quite a simple way of play, to be honest. It's quite a fast build-up. You kind of sit relatively deep. I think I've already showed the player instructions and the custom tactics in the first episode that I built this team in on the Road to Glory. But I think it basically is kind of, you sit relatively deep. It's kind of based off of Mourinho tactics, where you've obviously got four players at the back, 4 players in front, which are all kind of doing defensive duty, because you've even got the 2 centre attacking mids on come back on defence, obviously 2 CDMs step back while attacking. And then you just want to try and get it up to the strikers as quick as possible, really, for the most part, and create the 2v2s. Make sure that you are dragging out their opposing left back and right back, so that you do create the 2v2s. And at the end of the day, if you've got the skills to pay the bills at times, you're going to be able to beat them in the 2v2. So we're now 4-0. 4-0, which is, I don't know, just comparing it to last weekend, I don't know where we were. I think we were something like 4-1 of this state, maybe something like that. I'm not sure. I can't remember when we lost our first game. I'm tempted to say it was within like 3 games, but that's the thing. It's not really saying much, is it? Obviously, we're bringing on Lozano. Basically, around about half-time, I would usually keep Barkley as well as Dele Alli. Obviously, they're quite a bit slower, but they have got some strength and all the rest of it. But if the game wasn't working out, or if I needed a goal, then I would just bring on Lozano and Ousmane Dembele. But we're now 5-0. We won that game in extra time. Lovely little finish there. And we're feeling, you know, we're feeling the vibe. Friday, definitely the best day to play, because there's not many players on early morning hours. Obviously, everyone's at school or work or whatever. So in terms of the servers, they can actually handle it at that time. You know, it's a decent time. It really isn't sluggish at all. Responsive gameplay, and I feel like that was part of the reason that we did so well as well. But there's another reason too. I think there was actually a problem with the servers, where a lot of the time it would say that you can't find an opponent, and if you could, it was showing like 2-bar latency. And I actually have like a theory that the reason the games were all really low latency is that is what they would usually have for the latency. But the only reason why it never shows or whatever is because they're maybe trying to cover up how bad the internet is between a lot of the players and stuff like that. And to be honest, all of the green bar connection games, the reason I say this is because of all the green bar connection games that I played when it was during this sort of period in the morning, which is the reason why the weekend league was extended. But all of the games that were green bar were super smooth, like much more smooth than usual. So I'd assume that's because it was the only lads that were coming up in green bar were people that were probably quite local to me. So it was actually a very good thing, although it was, I mean, at the end of the day, I was able to play games at a much better sort of response time. So we're able to get some W's in, but also we're able to get a weekend league extension. So I'm interested to see what you chaps and chapettes think about that as well. Also, do you want like a permanent extension? Should there be a permanent extension for 4 days instead of 3? Because it's still kind of... It was weird to think that Foot Champs was actually only 2 days at one point. How disgusting is that to think it was 20 games on Saturday, 20 games on Sunday, or if you're sweaty enough, maybe 30, 10, or maybe even 40 games on the Sunday. I'd probably rather go Sunday than Saturday. But there's quite a couple of things to keep in mind, is that if you play all of your games too early, I think it reached a point on this day. So we're 7-0. We're 7-0. And we're just thinking, you know, are we going to leave it for a bit? And I think I do play like a couple more, maybe one or two more for the time being. Just because if you play too many games, then you are, at the end of the day, just going to start matching up against some sick players, because it's based off how well you're doing. So if I, say, left it all the way till Sunday, then chances are I'm not going to play as good players, because it is sort of skill-based matchmaking. So yeah, pretty much you're at a disadvantage if you play all of your games early. We go, I think we lose that game. We lose that game. So we're now, fast forwarding a bit, we're basically now 8-2. So we've lost 2 games at this point. And we decide to get rid of Matic, and we sign Obiang from West Ham. He's a decent lad. He's just a little bit faster. I thought that Matic, he was working well initially, but often it's a case when you start to come up against the better teams and the better players, they get exposed, and Matic did. So we bring in this lad, 6 stats. But anyway, chaps, that's going to be the end of the first episode. We're doing pretty decent at the moment. 8 wins, 2 losses. We'll see how we get on in the next one. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more Road to Glory episodes, and I'll see you chaps and chapettes on the next one. Mine. I'm sick of it. I'm getting roasted. I like my ham and cheese toasties toasted. It's in the name, it's in the game, it's EA Sports. Stay in your lane, mate.